JosephAlapatt. So growing up as an Indian kid, I was extremely lucky to have this opportunity to choose my career path. So my mom gave me two options. One, doctor. Two, engineer. And when I heard her say that, I shouted at her and I said, "Mom, which one is easier?" And that's how I became an engineer. However, I never thought I'll get a job. Partly because of the terminology my lecturer used to address me as well as my friends. The terminology was useless. However, eventually, you kind of get this confidence that you will get that job when you see that your so-called friends who are much more useless than you are actually getting jobs. In fact, the companies were picking only useless people. It even reached a point where in my entire class, the only people who did not have that job was the bright students and me. So by this time I knew that I am going to get that job. So I prepared, and on the day of the interview, this interviewer, the hiring manager, he comes and he says, our company is one of the biggest IT giants in this country. The name of the company comes from this Sanskrit word which means the truth, and we will not do anything to compromise on trust, value, and integrity. After his long speech, he said, you guys have to take a test. And before taking the test, he said, I'm going to give you a tip. Because for every correct answer, you're going to get 1 mark, and for every wrong answer, you're going to get a negative mark. So my tip for you is, if you do not know the answer, please don't answer. So I looked at the question paper, and I did not know the answer of a single question. So I listened to him. I did not answer any questions. I just returned back the paper. But incidentally, this company wanted to recruit a lot of people. So they said that anyone who does not have a negative score is shortlisted to come into the company. So here I got shortlisted for not attempting even a single question. But there was this incident that happened. 2 people were caught cheating. They were copying the answers from each other. So this hiring manager got furious and he said, no, our company stands for the truth and we cannot compromise anything on truth, value, and integrity. So we are not going to let anyone from your college to get this job. So we felt really bad, and so we went and he begged, and he said, all right. He felt pity for us. He said, okay, except those people who belong to that particular department that these 2 cheaters belong to, rest of you can get in. Interestingly, these 2 people were from my department. So now all of us went there and we begged and we said, sir, please, it's about our future. And he said, no, our company stands for the truth and we will not compromise on trust, value, and integrity. But we again pleaded to him and he said, oh, that's fine, okay. Except for these 2 cheaters, all of you can come in. So now these 2 people were like really, really falling on his feet, and they were crying, and they said, sir, please let us get into the company. This is our dream job. And he said, no, my company stands for the truth, and we will not compromise on anything that is like fraudulent. So then they literally fell on his feet. So he said, okay, I'm going to give you one more shot. 2 of you will be taking the test again, but you will be in 2 separate classes. But we will not, no one will be there in your room, you will be alone, but you'll be doing the test and we'll see how it goes. But by this time, they had figured out that you don't have to answer any question to get in. So they just went in and they got into the company. So, so to cut the long story short, all of us got our dream job without even attempting a single question. But 6 months down the line, I kind of figured out that I actually hate that job. Can you imagine, like, you work for so many years to get that dream job, and you know that you hate it? Yeah. So it was so frustrating, so frustrating, so frustrating that I wrote a book about it. And it's going to be published soon. The name of the book is The First Chore. It is inspiring. It is romantic. It will make you think. It will make you laugh. And if you buy it, it will make me rich. Anyways, by the way, if you think that, if you are kind of wondering who is the actual fraud in this entire story, this company that stands for the truth was closed down for the greatest fraud in the history of IT industry in India. But I still love that company. Thank you.